Well, happy Friday, first Friday of 2020, and a little bit of an update on my massive walking cane that I'm working on, or not walking cane, but maybe walking staff. This thing's about 9 feet long after I cut it off here. A little bit of background with this guy. We have beavers over at where I work at. And they're active. They're very active, and so stuff gets chewed up, and mostly in the green belt, which is not really that big of a deal. But this happened to be a nice straight piece that was felled by a beaver. Probably, I'm thinking last spring. It'd been sitting there a while. It was out of the way, and so it wasn't really that big of a deal. But I decided to, after the success I had with the walking stick I made for my granddaughter, I thought that this would be a nice staff for me. It's big, like I am, and it's about 2 inches in diameter, 2.5 inches in diameter, and like I said, at this point right now, it's about 9 feet long from here to the end. So anyway, I've been working at it a little bit here and there, half hour, 40 minutes, a couple days over the last few weeks. Not really putting a lot of time into it, but I've got all the bark off of it, and I've trimmed down some of the more knobby areas. You can see there was quite a bit. I think this is, I don't know for sure, but I think this is black locust, because as I was taking off the bark, I was finding some thorns in there, and there were branches, of course, obviously, but it was not, it was, there were a few times I got myself pretty good with those thorns. I trimmed them all down. Right here, I think, is where some thorns might have been. There's a couple of spots. I think right there was probably a thorn, maybe right there. So I got the bark all off, except for a few places it's a little tough to get off of here. But that'll come off with some sandpaper really easy. I got some 60 grit that I'm going to use to get this finished up, so I'm not tearing up the wood with my knife. Be a little bit smoother. But anyway, this is where we're at, and I've done a little bit of testing with it. But I want you guys to give me your opinion if you think I should take stuff like this down all the way. I think I'm just gonna trim this kind of stuff flush with the wood. Probably take it off with my Dremel, stuff like that. May smooth it out a little bit more. I think that's what I'm gonna do. And one of the things I tested is some Danish oil. I got some cherry wood, which turned out really nice for another project. And so, since this is a black locust, or what I'm assuming is black locust, I thought that it would have a really nice darkness to it. I don't know if it shows up real clearly on here, but you can see where it's a little bit splotchy. I'm not terribly thrilled about that, but that might just be the stain, and I'd probably just need to go over it with some sandpaper after the fact, and and do another coat. But something that I really would like some opinions on, and if you could hit me up in the comments, what to do about this. I've had some thoughts about leaving this in some form, but then on the way up here, I thought about taking these down and making a knob out of this. You can kind of see where, hang on a sec. You can kind of see where you get a nice knob shape on there after you cut some of this stuff off. And I'm wondering if maybe that would be the better way to go. Here's a picture from the front here. Let me know what you think. That's something that I'm considering. You know, kind of trim that back, make it more of a knob instead of having these up here. But anyway, this is what I've got going so far, and let me know what you think. Hit me up in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. God bless you. God loves you. Have an awesome New Year.